The Minnesota Vikings have selected Randy Moss.
Well, before I get the questions, man, I'd like to say something.
Everybody, one clap.
Pull your 84 jerseys out. I'm back home. Pull your 84 jerseys out. This is going to be a fun
Alrighty,
ride.
folks, welcome back to another episode of Live and Motherfucking 5, baby. Auzzo, Swish, running it. Just a two-man program this week. No guest. We're trying out this new system where we go guest, no guest, guest, just the fellas. So we'll see how it goes on that front. But episode number 84 brought to you by Butter Golf and Mini Movers. Mini Movers, the official moving company over here at Live and 5, as well as Butter Golf, the official merch and lifestyle brand of the show. And we are always brought to you by Gladiator Therapeutics. Gladiator Therapeutics is your number one spot to heal some neurological disorders. So head over to www.gladiatortherapeutics, little /DRGM to get a quote and just check it out. They got some nice products over there. Dr. George, we've had on the show before, so check it out. And as well, Auzzo, before we get into it, my friend, number 84 just rings a bell. It is Minneapolis, Minnesota Viking legend, number 84, Randy Moss, probably the only Vikings jersey I would ever wear, and I'm proud to wear it because I love the kid from Bell, West Virginia. Man, remember how electric he was? Like how sick Randy was. Even you got to give some ups to Culpepper, who would just air it out all day long to Moss. Like that connection, man. That was like AT&T in New York City. That's 5 or 6G, fella.
Yeah, 100%. Probably, I would say Randy, no disrespect to all the other legendary athletes that played in Minnesota, but Randy's the number one seed by far, eh? Like, it's not even close.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just how electric he was. Remember his first year in the league, he had braces?
Yeah, so sick. His West Virginia twang and like,
yep.
There's so many stories about him too, like, when he got fined and that guy was taking the video and he's like, how are you going to pay it, Randy?
Yep.
When are you going to write that check? And he's like, when you rich, you ain't write checks.
Yeah.
How are you going to pay, Randy?
Yeah.
Straight cash, homie.
Yeah. He's like, what's 10 grand to me? Straight cash to me. Hey, remember that guy? Do you remember back in the day on SportsCenter when I forget the DJ's name, but they made a one clap remix, like Randy Moss, everybody one clap. I'm going to say what I want to say.
Yeah.
I'm going to do what I want to do. That song, you can still pull it up on YouTube. I think it was DJ Steve Porter is the name actually. And it was when he was playing in New England. But they had like clips from exactly what you were talking about, the straight cash homie, to interviews, to all different things. It was sick. It was a banger. And,
so good.
And that was the year he had 23 touchdowns, so it was just like perfect timing when they made that. But yeah, man, when he came into the chin of Lambeau Field and mooned the crowd, that was just unreal. So Moss, man, Moss, you got Moss.
Joe Buck wasn't happy at the time.
Right.
They've interviewed him about it now, and he was like, yeah, I just thought it was a little much, but I'd take it back now. I think it was a pretty funny celebration.
Yeah, I mean, that was back in the day too, where like, it was a tighter ship too, not as many celebrations.
Tighter, yeah.
It was before Ocho Cinco was breaking out the Sharpie or the cell phone in his. He pretty sure Ocho had the Sharpie in his sock. He had the cell phone maybe on the side of his hip. He was making calls. Unreal. So yeah, Moss, baby, he is the best. But speaking of NFL players, Auzzo, before we get into the weekend recap, before we get into all the National Hockey League games, a little bit of the association as well, I got a funny story. So I was at Crypto.com, boots on the ground for Game 2 with Missing Curfew on Wednesday. And we did a pregame show in the Lexus Lounge where it was on this like elevated area just off of Crypto.com on the suite level. So we had an unbelievable setup. We had Jared Stoll stop by, Stoley Babe, Gene Principe, the guy with the feathered and lethal flow out of Edmonton, media guy, and as well as Dion Phaneuf. So these guys stop by. We run a little bit of a show, go to the game, suite level. How are you? Kings, they put a beat down on Edmonton. We'll get into that. But as we're leaving the game and as we're leaving the suite level, we're coming down a set of stairs and we're walking down these stairs on the suite level, and right in front of us, probably like a half a level below us where you can kind of like see the person, but you can only see like the back of them. I'm like, who is that? It's a brother. It's a black dude, and he's built like a vending machine. I'm like, who is that? And he's got a set of dreads. And I'm thinking as we go down, and I'm a little tuned up, I'm like, fuck, that might be Marshawn Lynch. So I start telling the guys around me. I start telling Obes. We were actually with that Kevin Connolly guy as well. I'm gonna name drop, and a couple other guys. So we're walking down. I'm like, I think that's Money Lynch. Like, but I can't tell because I can only see the back of him. He's got a beanie, toque hat on, and just built again like a cigarette machine. So we kind of get to the exit of the concourse, and now there's like this straightaway outside where it's like a little secluded area that's going to lead to a suite level like parking lot. And we're going to the Sprinter van to watch the overtime of Dallas, Colorado. So we're kind of hustling. And as we make a right out of this straightaway, that's probably 100 yards. I'm like, fuck, I think that's Money Lynch. So he's on the left. I'm kind of, I come up like lane 5 or 6 if he's in lane 1, and I'm getting behind him. And I'm probably now about 10 feet behind him. And I'm like, okay, I got a side profile. It's him. I'm like, holy fuck. So I look back like, boys, it's Money Lynch. Like, that's one of my favorite players of all time, Auzzo. You're talking about Randy Moss. Marshawn Lynch, hold my dick, Selly. Like, number 24, that's my guy. I loved watching him play. He was electric. What a personality out of Oakland. So I'm like, all right, fuck. Like, I'm tuned up a little bit. I'm probably the 3 or 4 doubles deep. And I'm like, I got to do something. So I kind of just like black out because he's a scary looking dude, man. Like in person, like he was like, again, like big, like his forearms were the size of both my quads combined.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying I got big legs. So I yell at him, not really yell, just kind of give him a, hey, yo, Money. I called him Money. I go, yo, Money. And he looks back. I go, mind if I grab a pic? And he looks at me, goes, nah, but you could have a good night though. And just kept walking. So he absolutely shriveled me. And I was so scared, man. I was like laughing, but I was like, fuck. The way he stared at me, I was like, Jesus, like that man. Now that's a gangster. And it was so funny. And the response was so good. He was like, nah, but you could have a good night though. And I told the fellas that story because they kind of walked the other way, and he was going right as we were going left. So I kind of had followed him a little bit.
Uh-huh.
And man, we had such a good laugh. I never gotten shriveled like that in my life. I think I actually like it more than the actual pick. And also, I wasn't going to like fanboy him and be like, yo, let's get a pick. I had my phone out to the point of he couldn't see it, but I was just going to snap like a selfie, like kind of like this.
Yeah.
I didn't want to stop him and like take a picture. Like I'm a grown man, but it was so funny, bro. Like I got absolutely shriveled by Money Lynch.
That's so good. I wouldn't have expected him to say anything else other than his response, though.
Right.
So Nails, he said you could have a good night, though. I mean,
yes,
you'll take that. Like that's better than a pick.
The look on his face is like, if you walk one more foot behind me, I'm fucking you up. Like he had security around him, Auzzo, and the security guards weren't the scary or the things to worry about. It was him. Like, imagine getting hit by that guy. Just like he used to blow up defensive ends, man. Like,
oh yeah, that guy's a meat stick.
Like he is so fucking big. It was a legit Sub-Zero refrigerator and the deep freezer combined. Oh, I thought that was so funny, man.
That's so good.
I wasn't like scared, but I was like, damn, like imagine meeting that dude in the hole. That was like what was going through my mind.
Nah, but you can have a good night though.
But you could have a good night though. So yeah, I actually, you know what? I did have a fucking good night. So it was a great night. The game was good. But yeah, fella, what's going on over there with the mini movers? What do we got cooking? We got the NFL draft in Green Bay this week. Shedeur Sanders doesn't get picked in the first round and says he's not really that rattled. But it's like, was that a surprise? I mean, I just want to get into it just because it's in Green Bay. Like, was that something? I knew he was like, could be anywhere from pick 2 to a second round pick, but it was kind of one of those where he was very just off the board. Like, who knows who could pick him? But I just thought that was maybe a little bit of a surprise, especially with that Dart kid going 25th overall as a quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, from what I heard, Jordan, now I like the Sanders family. Like these guys they're ballers. I love Dion Primetime. I actually like Shador. I think he's a great player. My dad likes Dion, so he makes us watch the Colorado games whenever they play during college football season. I just think, he went into these, from what I'm hearing, Jordo, he went into the interviews, with all the teams and the GMs and the coaches, and he kind of acted, it's what it sounded like. He acted like he was like Patrick Mahomes already. And he was already like skill-wise, talent-wise, career-wise in college. He was like potentially a late first-round pick. Like, that's what he was. Now, if you're going to act like you're already Patrick Mahomes in these interviews with a bunch of suits, these guys are like 55-year-old hardos of the earth. They don't appreciate confidence or cockiness in a guy. You can't be doing that. And I think that hurt him. From what I read, like a bunch of teams just like, we don't have any interest after that. It's like the owners and the GMs are in there, and these guys don't understand how kids are nowadays. And, you wear the chains and the colored suits and the whatever it is that the kids are doing now that are getting drafted. The GMs and owners don't understand that, and they don't give a fuck. Honestly. So it's
they don't. And
if you're not that good, if you're not as good, like obviously if he goes into these interviews and he's by far and away the number one pick, it's like people are like, okay. But when you're not, and you're the second, maybe third ranked QB on the draft list right now, it's like, and people are saying it's a bad draft year for quarterbacks. It's a terrible look.
Yeah.
So I think that hurt him.
Yeah, when you're not undeniable and you're not the unanimous number one overall selection, now that creates doubt and that creates opportunity to look elsewhere. When you do have that big of a personality, you are that confident in yourself. And look, I'm with you. I'm a Deion Sanders guy. I used to have a Deion Sanders Florida State jersey. My dad was a Deion guy. Prime time, I'm similar to you, Auzzo. I grew up idolizing the guy. So I do like the family, but when you're dealing with the Jerry Joneses of the world and some of these old head Southern guys, man, a lot of the times they would rather just go with someone that is maybe not going to be as big of a headache, not going to attract as much attention to themselves. Not just, the team is one thing, but themselves, the personality is there, the enterprises outside of just football. And I love that. I love what guys have done in terms of building their own brand, being loud, being themselves. Yeah. But the thing is, Auzzo, when you're doing that, it's one thing to just
know your audience.
Yeah, know your audience, but it's also like if he can back it up, who cares? But
no one. Again,
what you're saying is when you're the second, third, fourth rated quarterback, there are other avenues that these teams can go. But I don't know, man. I think he's a dude that could back it up. And you never know with a style. You never know though with that style of quarterback if it's going to really work.
No, and he's, he doesn't have a freak body. From what I hear, he doesn't like have a crazy arm. He's not big.
He's not that fast. Like his 40 time wasn't unreal. It was like
he's not like a scrambling QB. But just with his genes, with Deion's genes, I think he could definitely back it up. Now, did you see the draft room he had built?
Yes.
At Deion's house?
Yes.
And they're putting it on like Instagram and stuff, and then you don't go first round. It's like, that's tough. It's a tough look. It's not a good day. I mean, this could easily be used as fuel though, and motivation for him.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he is using it as motivation, but it's just not a good look.
If he's a real player, he'll be fine. If he was that concerned with being a first round pick and he's not a legitimate quarterback, then that hurts the bank account. But yeah, that setup they had was pretty sick over at Deion's place. It's not quite as good as a scenario as Brett Favre back in the day, getting the call on the bed. That was all time. Like that's one of the best draft picks of all time. Did Favre go? Was Favre a first rounder? Or was he a second rounder?
I thought he was a first rounder.
Yeah, I think he was too, because he got drafted by Atlanta.
Yeah, and then did he get traded right away?
Yep, he got traded right away to the Packers, or maybe he played 1 year in Atlanta and then he got dished. But yeah, he was a he's a second rounder. Favre was a second rounder.
Was he?
Yes. And in the 1991 draft, where he
That
spent
picture is so good. He got the custom made T-shirts for the family. NFL draft day.
Unreal. Yeah,
he got
played
jorts on.
one season at Atlanta. So yeah. I don't know. It's you never know what the fucking draft, NHL, NFL. I just love that they're doing it in Green Bay. That's hilarious. Like I saw Mike Greenberg was bitching that, or he threw out a post where he asked for an almond milk latte in Green Bay. Like, dude, you're asking for an almond milk latte in Green Bay, Wisconsin. The woman waitress is going to flat out call you an absolute pussy if you order that. Like, you drink coffee black there, and if you ask for milk, you still get judged. The only thing you should be put in coffee is 87 unleaded from Quick Trip, or some Baileys, or some Jameson. Like, you don't put anything else in that fucking coffee.
No, and they don't even know what almond milk is.
No, they're like what you can
like
milk
almond. That's a nut.
You can milk an almond these days. What the fuck's going on here? we got cows over here. We got 1,000 cows. That was the funny thing about Green Bay too. I mean, even in all of Wisconsin, like field trips, you just go to all these cattle farms growing up. But the 1 year I was playing in Green Bay, they took us out like 40 miles, like to the chin of Shawano, Wisconsin, which is just off the Indian reservation. And we go up to this cattle farm, Auzzo, this dairy farm. And have you ever seen where they it's basically like a baggage claim type of thing where they put the cows on it and they milk it and they send them down the chute? Like the operation for milking a cow is crazy. It's crazy. I have nipples, Greg. Can you milk me? But
you can milk just about anything with nipples.
You can milk anything. Yeah. Put that on a t-shirt. You can milk anything. But Auzzo, what do you got cooking this weekend, fella? What's up in Mini? Obviously, you're grinding it out right now at Mini Movers. Like, what's Auzzo's weekend looking like before we get to the hockey talk? This weekend,
I'm actually gonna head up north to Duluth to emergency backup coach Dusky's Colton Sanderson's team on the River Hockey. He's got 4 teams in Duluth. Bunch of coaches couldn't make it, so he's called in the emergency backup. I got my hat ready. I'm hoping he's got a jacket for me.
Yep.
I'm still deciding on my pants though, Jordan. What kind of pants do I wear? He told me I could wear jeans, but do I want to wear jeans as a coach behind the bench?
No, you got to show up in something, I think, a little more than that. Even though it's just youth hockey and it's just a weekend of spring hockey in Duluth, I say you going I say you almost even wear a suit.
Yeah.
Like, how funny would that be? Like, you're going in and you just set the tempo game on. Like, maybe on Saturday you wear the jeans, but Friday for the first game today, if you're coaching, maybe you go full suit. How funny would that be?
Should I try to get banned by Dusky by like sitting players for turning the puck over?
Oh yeah.
You're done.
100%.
Take a seat.
How old are the kids you're going to be coaching?
I think they're ranging from the age of 7 to like 12, maybe.
So how many are you coaching? Every single one of the teams?
I'm not sure. I think I just kind of pop around to whoever's needed at the time, and serve as the assistant coach. Maybe throw out the deep pair, kind of give them some pointers. I'm imagining that. I haven't had too much rundown yet though.
Because Tucker Pullman, does he still coach with Dusk for that? Or?
Yeah, so that's what Tuck's out this weekend.
Tuck's bailed on the boys, eh?
Tuck's out. I'm not sure what he's got going on, and I think Tyler Palmasino had to back out on the weekend as well.
Gotcha. So is it just Dusk on the bench, or are there other coaches too?
There's other coaches. Johnny Simonson is going to be one of the coaches out there. So, it'll be us 3 rolling around, and then I think he's got there's 4 teams. There's supposed to be 2 coaches per team. I think he's going to have 6 coaches there.
I mean, that's not a bad weekend though. Go to Sal's Pizza, get drunk at the Spur or Grandma's, and
it'll be good.
Little.
I'm excited to get on the bench. You know,
Little Mars Lakeview. That rink still kicking?
the Mars Arena. I don't know. That's a great question. I think we're going to be in Hermantown.
Okay, yeah, the old German Hermantown.
Yeah, I might have to wear some long johns. I remember that rink's pretty cold.
Oh yeah, they got like the old wood in there, don't they? That's a nice little venue.
Yeah.
It's almost like a steeple. It's almost like a cathedral in Hermantown there on the Iron Range. That Mars Lakeview, man, there used to be so many tournaments. I remember growing up, like playing in summer tournaments in Duluth. You'd be playing there, like Cloquet, Hermantown, and then like the big game would be at the deck back in the day, Duluth's old barn with the Bulldogs. But teams from like Thunder, I just remember Thunder Bay. Thunder Bay would come in, and these kids would be 6'3". They're like 10 years old. I'm like, what the fuck are they putting in the Lucky Charms?
You thought the same thing.
Thunder Bay. Yeah.
I thought the same exact thing. Like why were these kids from Thunder Bay twice as big as these Minnesota, North Dakota, Wisconsin kids I'm playing against?
Yeah, like where the fuck is Thunder Bay and why are they so big? Like, do they hit puberty at 10, like legit 10 years old? They were killing guys, I remember, like a 7 a.m. game, and you're just getting stapled.
Oh, you're getting dummied, concussed, and their parents were celebrating. Like if a guy got very badly injured, their parents would be up in the stands, like drinking beers, like celebrating.
100%. Yeah, those kids from Thunder Bay back in the day were legit fucked. I wonder if it's still like that, because that was the age where you just started hitting, obviously in Pee Wee. Mm-hmm. So you come out of squirt, and again, you're 9 or 10 years old, and then you're lining up against a guy that's going to be forechecking you. He's 6'4", and it's like what? And it's not like he was like just 6'4". He was like $180, and it's like, man, I weigh 94 pounds. Like, what the fuck is going on right now? Yeah, he maybe not the fleetest of foot, and he hasn't grown into his body, but this is the first year of hitting. I'm gonna get fucking killed out here. I remember thinking like that was the biggest gap I've ever seen. Was dudes from Thunder Bay were the biggest kids I've ever seen.
Psychos. And the parity between the sizes of kids at that age too. Like one guy's got a mustache and the other guy doesn't even have a single pube hair above his nuts.
Yep. Yeah, no, it was nuts, fellas. So good luck up there this weekend, hanging with the fellas. That'll be good, Auzzo. That'll be fun. That'll be get you out, get you coaching a little bit, get you around Rico, and Simo's a nice touch too. So
yeah, you know the beers will be cold up there too. So
it'll be icy cold. Hey, I wanted to ask you, is our boy Tomer back yet?
Yeah, he's back.
He's back. Okay.
He's back in Des Moines, so he's kind of still. Nothing against Des Moines people, but he's still kind of in Russia a little bit, being in Des Moines.
Fuck.
But
what's his plan? Is he going to get to Mini soon?
I'm honestly not sure. I think he plans to spend the entire month of May in Des Moines.
And then he's got his wedding.
Until his wedding in Des Moines. And then I think after his wedding, he plans to come back.
But that'd only be for like a month if you're going back over to Russia or wherever you're playing.
If that. Yeah. Short summer for Tom.
Yeah, because then you're right into the chin of the weddings, and yeah, fuck. Well, good luck out there, fella. But Auzzo, I wanted to get into some games here, my friend. I want to start with just the series that hits home closest to you. I'm going to be honest. I missed the game last night. I was out for dinner with Nicky Schmaltz. He's back in town, so I missed the game. But the Minnesota Wild and the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, listen, I watched game 1 and 2. I missed game 3. But after game 1, I was thinking, fuck, the Wild, like it's the same song and dance. These guys stink. They got Kaprizov, but they're thin on the back end. I don't know about their goalie. A couple of their forwards, I'm not really, I'm just iffy about. But my God, are they playing well? Like, what is going on? I didn't see that game last night, but is it just the Kaprizov show? Like that sauce he had on in game 2 was that lunar sauce was unbelievable. The way it landed, one of the best passes I've ever seen to Boldy in stride. Hey, how are you? And then the finish. But like Boldy's playing unbelievable. Kaprizov is Kaprizov. It's just like you wish we could get a full season of this guy every year. Their back end to this point has been fine. Goaltending the same. Man, is this team like, we'll see going into game 4, but can they get this done? Can they beat Vegas?
Yeah, I'll be the first one to admit, Jordo, I wrote them off before the even series started. I was like Vegas in 5, no doubt. I've watched a lot of Wild games this year.
Yep.
Nothing against the Wild boys. I know quite a few of them nowadays. They're actually a great team, but they're still handcuffed by those contracts which they're getting off this off season.
Right.
I think, Jordo, is I think there's a chance they can get by Vegas. Now, I think it's still, obviously they're only up 2-1. Good chance Vegas ties it up 2-2. Who knows? But the Wild did play really well last night in Game 3. I thought they deserved to win the game. Now, the reason they're winning these games, Jordo, is because Boldy and Kaprizov are going full-on superhero mode.
Yes.
Like, if these guys don't do that, are they going to win? Probably not. So they're relying on those guys to go superhero mode. How many games can these guys go superhero mode? That's the question, because their second line, Jordo, like even their third line, if you stack them up against Vegas or even, a lot of these teams in the playoffs right now, their second and third line just doesn't match up, in terms of firepower and goal scoring. But, this Joel Eriksson X-back, he's incredible. I mean, defensively, just 200-foot player. Hand up again. I thought Zeev Buium would step into the National and be nasty. Now, I think he still will be. Of course, he's an elite player. It's just going to take him a while to get used to the ebbs and flows of the National. Like these little chips that he used to make by in college, these guys in the NHL don't fall for it. He's going to have to learn little things like that. But it's going to take him a little time to adjust. And he's turned over some pucks. Now, I know I was chirping the Wild. I was just scratching my head at him not playing against Anaheim in that last game. I still kind of think they should have tossed him in there before tossing him to the Wolves against the Vegas Golden Knights in the Fortress. But so far, it's looking like he is a little nervous out there, and he's making some rookie mistakes, which obviously is expected out of a 19-year-old. But I just thought he'd be a little more ready. Whereas I said Jimmy Snuggerud, Jordo, not to jump into the other series, but I said it would take him a little while to adjust to the National. It looks like he's been playing all season when you watch Jimmy. So I was off on that. Not the first time I've been wrong, not the last time, Jordo. But the Wild have looked good. I think they have a realistic chance at beating the Knights. Now, I still probably wouldn't have them favored just because of how deep these Knights are, and their back end is so big. They will eventually wear down the Wild, especially with Faber playing 30 minutes every night. Can you do that in these playoffs, playing every other game at this intensity level? This guy's a freak, so he can, but he's playing 30 minutes. He's going to get injured more. He's going to block more shots. He's going to have more wounds on his body throughout the series as it goes. I would not bet on them to win a second-round matchup, but they can definitely win this first round against the Vegas Golden Knights, which before it started, I would have said no chance.
Yeah, no, I think everything you're saying is correct. And the one thing that I said on curfew after game one or before game one was Ryan Hartman can't play on your fourth line. Ryan Hartman in a playoff series needs to play at least 15 minutes a night. I would argue maybe even 17 to 20 because Auzzo, Hartsey, despite having a down year, despite maybe the numbers weren't there during the regular season. Look, his regular season was fucked up. He got a 10-game suspension. He got it reduced down to 8. He missed almost a month and a half of hockey when you can put that in there with the Four Nations Cup. Like, he didn't play a ton in the middle of the year, and he was healthy. So I thought that was a good adjustment with Heinze. Now Hartsey, you look and you see in game 3 and even game 2, he played a little bit more, but last night it was closer to 16 minutes. He's playing up the lineup. That guy needs to play in your top 9, at least. I would say top 6 because he's had success with the skilled players before. The guy has scored 34 goals one year. So that was the one adjustment I thought Heinze did a good job with. And look, their back end, say what you want. I mean, Zeev Buium, we'll get into him. I'll just touch on that a little bit here. What you said, I'll just kind of echo is it's crazy, Auzzo. Like, you see the numbers in college, better than Cale Makar. You see how good of a player he can be at the World Juniors. But the National League's different, and you can't really put like development is not linear. You know what I mean? Like you don't know when this guy is going to pop off. You don't know how comfortable he feels. Maybe he's a little bit nervous. Maybe he's a little shell shocked. Maybe the speed and what he can do out there is just he has to figure out. And some guys get it right away. Some guys it takes them a year. Some takes 2, 3. You just never know the development process because for every guy, it's a lot different, man. Like a lot of the times, you know, like with guys that we played with, it actually helped some guys that they were dumb and just went in there and just played their game. Some guys overthink shit. Some guys are like outsmarting themselves and they start questioning what they're doing out there, and that creates doubt. So who knows where Zeev is at mentally with this thing, but for 3 games into the league and you just step into playoffs and you play the Vegas Golden Knights. I mean, to me, that's just impressive in its own right that he's even getting a regular shift. Like that's crazy, man. You just step in with no regular season experience and your rookie lap with no bucket on is game 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs against the best team in the West, arguably. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, it's a tough task. And I you know, you wonder, Jordo, if this is good for his career or if it's bad for his career because it might take some confidence away. I personally think it's good. I mean, what's the regular season going to feel like compared to playing this series? It's going to feel like you're playing JV hockey. You know, this is such a different level than the regular season. And I do think once this kid gets a full season of like regular season play in, he'll have the confidence he needs and he'll understand this league more and what he can and can't do in terms of, you know, turning the puck over, which I think he has to learn still, obviously. But yeah, it's this is as tough as it gets. I keep watching him out there. I'm like, he just came from playing college hockey and now he's playing in this. That's a big jump, like massive.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little different than CC's forecheck. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we'll see. I think that's a series that's going to go the distance, 6 games, 7 games. But Vegas, I don't know. They don't look like the Vegas we've kind of seen all along in some of these playoffs or even in the regular season. They seem like they're like shocked right now with how well Minnie's playing. But that's a series we're going to see how it goes. Auzzo, like I said, I was boots on the ground for game 2 at the Crypto.com arena. And the LA Kings, man, this team, the way they played that in neutral zone trap, the way they swarm, the way that they contain, the way they push everything outside the dots. I mean, it was legit. It was poetic to watch. They played their game to a goddamn T where it was just their systems were unbelievable. They were on top of pucks. They were opportunistic. And on the other side, like, I don't know, man. It's just Edmonton is so thin on the back end and everybody knows that. But even some of the other middle 6 part of their lineup in terms of their forwards, it's not perfect. And this Evan Bouchard, I tweeted out earlier in the year, I said, while you think he's playing well, I would trade him. If I'm Stan Bowman, I could get a decent return on a guy that I'm gonna have to pay at least $8 to $10 million at the time on a long-term deal. I don't think he's worth that. I think he turns a lot of pucks over, even in the regular season. I don't think he's great defensively. And he is just getting absolutely exposed right now. Now, all my takes are not right. But what I'm saying is if you could have got something for Bouchard that was a comparable piece, a little bit better defensively, like for a little bit there. And I don't think Doug Armstrong would have done it, but a guy like Colton Parayko was available. Like what I'm saying is you need defensemen that actually defend in playoffs. And yes, the points are always great, but I would trade in a guy that's a 30 to 40, 45 point guy in the regular season as a defenseman that has capabilities of taking a one-timer like Bouchard at the top, maybe a little less, but you sacrifice what you do offensively for a better return defensively because as you know, in the playoffs, Auzzo, man, none of that really matters. Like you need to be able to defend first as a defenseman. And that's where it's just like, he is swimming in the mud out there, man. Like that 2-on-1 goal with Byfield where he just let him walk right into the slot on the ladies' tees and take a shot on Skinner with his forehand facing. Like if you're playing that 2-on-1 where Byfield scored and he's a lefty on the right side and his blade is facing the middle, like you got to push him out. You got a long body. You got to do something. His defensive play is just, it's putrid.
It's not great. He looks like a guy who, because
He's so casual. He's so casual.
Yeah, he's just too
Fuck.
casual. Like he just wants the puck. Defense is, Jordo, you know as well as I do. All it is it's just compete. You know,
Yes.
you either want to take the puck away and take his options away, or you want to save some energy and hope he makes a mistake, and then hope you get the puck back, and then you can be back on offense. It kind of looks like that's how he wants to play. His defense, it has not looked great. I've thought the same too, because now is Evan Bouchard a great hockey player? Yeah, he's unbelievable. Is he going to be worth what they're going to have to pay him, or whoever pays him?
Right.
In the regular season, it's a great deal. But like you said, in the playoffs, you need guys who can defend, and you need guys who are willing to defend, and it just doesn't seem like he's fully willing to defend.
Yeah, you just watch him. It's so casual, and now like even in game 2 there, like his best asset is his shot, and he was gun shy to shoot the puck. Everything is just, it's so lackadaisical. It's so casual. And listen, I was an offensive defenseman, not to the point of putting up 80 points in a regular season like Evan Bouchard, not even close. But it just, his compete level is just not, it's not even near like the barometer of where you need to be. Like you need to turn up the thermostat fucking to 120, fella. Like right now, you're below freezing. It's and LA, they see that. Like they're just exposing these guys, and even on the offensive side, Auzzo, not with just 97 or Draisaitl, because those guys are the best in the league. But for their other players, especially up front, they have guys cheating the game. Like they have guys circling, they have guys blowing the zone. It's like you can't do that, number one, but you can't do that when we have this decor. Like you guys, if anything, we got to defend as a 5-man unit and a cohesive unit. And you actually have to help us out way more because we're so goddamn thin back here. And this LA Kings team at the same time is so much better than I thought. Like I watched them during the year a little bit. Listen, they're fucking boring to watch. They really are. Just their playing style. But they have a lot of good players, Auzzo. Like a lot.
Yeah.
It's Fiala, Kopitar, Deneau, Byfield, Moore. Like they're really good up front, man.
Yeah, underrated guys too. That, you know, the average NHL fan doesn't know about, but they're all they all seem like selfless guys who play to win too. You know, we just talked to Wardo. There are some guys in the NHL that, you know, they're just really skilled. They don't care as much about winning, you know. I would say most guys do, but it does seem like those guys on the Kings, they're just like unsung heroes almost. You never hear about them, but then you watch their game, and especially in the playoffs, and you're like, these guys, they're unbelievable hockey players, and it looks like they want to win this goddamn game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if like, do you think these Oilers, because it's a lot of the same team from last year, do you think they're kind of taking the first round for granted? Like they almost just expect to move on to the second round, so they're taking shortcuts a little bit when, like you said, this is the last team in the playoffs that can take shortcuts on the defensive end of the rink, because their back end is hurting right now.
Yeah. I mean, they're bleeding out like a crackhead outside of a 7-Eleven. But the thing is I don't know, Auzzo, you make a good point there, because it is their 4th time playing them in 4 years. And this matchup, maybe they're just like, yeah, we're just going to get by them. We'll figure it out. And LA on their own home soil at Crypto stung them, and they stung them bad. And now the series obviously is going to shift north to Edmonton, and they got to figure out a lot of shit. Like they can't rely on winning 6-5 or 7-6, but that might be the only way they can get it done. And if their power play is not clicking, and LA is playing an unbelievable system through the neutral zone where the zone entries for Edmonton aren't able to work out. Like that was the biggest thing I saw. It was the zone entries with speed. Edmonton couldn't get through that trap. They couldn't. They couldn't pull the chess pieces around the board to create holes and to create avenues where you make those little plays. Because Auzzo, when you're playing against a trap like that, it's basically they used to play a 1-3-1 under Tom McClellan. Now it's like a 2-3, or it's the same thing. Like it's like a 1-1. 1-1-3 or a 1. It's something. So it's a 1-2-2. It's something very similar to that.
Yep.
Like they stack the red line. They have a defenseman sag back to shag pucks. So when they have to deposit or dump that puck in, they're right on the corner, and then they can get to the first touch and make a play. But when I'm watching that game, the only way that Edmonton is going to be able to do that is by perfect zone entries. And that starts with building speed at your own top of the circles. And it always comes down to, this, is those little passes, those 5 to 6 foot little passes. But again, those got to be on the tape. They got to be in stride. What I saw was a lot of one done where McDavid, it was great. He would wind it up, but then he's trying to go 1-on-5, man. And he would get through the first 3 guys, but then it's the 4th guy, and then it's the 5th guy has a stick. It's nearly impossible. Like how many? It's still the National League. Like you can't go 1-on-5.
You can't. These guys' sticks are too good, Jordo. Too like you think about if you watch just the junior level, the college level, even American League a little bit, you can sauce passes through a lot of guys. In the NHL, it's tough to get even a sauce pass through.
For sure.
These guys' sticks and hand-eye, they just bat everything down. It's so tough to get passes through. And yeah, you have to play like a dump and chase game against the Kings. And obviously that isn't what McDavid and Draisaitl want to do, but they're doing a good job at making them play that way.
Yeah, and I just thought, like, even when the puck gets dumped out and you have a little pressure in the offensive zone and it gets shuffled out, like Edmonton, their defensemen were bringing it back all the time. And look, you want to build speed, you want to, create lanes, but at the same time, I was like, I don't think this is going to work. It's almost where you got to go and play even a faster paced game. So when that puck does get flipped out, now, okay, we're right back in their teeth. And it's not going to be a pretty game. Like you said, it's going to be dump and chase. It's going to be run and gun. But it's going to be just very quick on the puck. Like if you're going back for a puck and you have a team on the ropes, well, it's got to be quick up and right on a tape of a wall. And it's got to be slash support. And then it's going to have to be, again, it's going to be a tip in. It's going to have to be a little play at the far blue line. But you're not going to get those clean looks where you're just this whole big rush game that you want to play. The rush game is over. It's got to be just keep jamming it down their throat. And I don't know if Edmonton, especially the big boys, they want to play that way because it's not sexy. Like that style of play, let's be honest, it sucks to play. But I think that's the only way you have a chance is you don't let them reload and reset into that trap they have. Because right now to this point in 2 games, man, it's been really good.
You got to stay away from that trap. It was like, I was watching the Tampa Florida game last night. Florida wins 1-0. It was 2-0. They got an empty net with 3 seconds left, but they trapped it up in the third, Florida. And these guys, even Kucherov and Gensel and Hagel, and I mean, Tampa's got an unbelievable team. They couldn't get the puck in the zone, man, because they're just trapping it. When a team plays that trap, it's if you don't want to dump the puck in, it looks so hard to play against because they just want zero part of it.
Yeah, and like I said, last time I didn't get to catch some of those earlier games. What was that like Florida, man? Like the way they were able to kind of hide the news on Matty Tkachuk, and probably Tampa didn't even think he was going to play, and he shows up for game 1, pots 2 goals. They're going to be getting Ekblad back for game 3 coming off his Lance Armstrong like suspension for PEDs. Is Florida the better team? And shout out to friend of the show, by the way, Nate Schmidt. 3 goals in 2 games. Fuck, is he feeling it?
It was so cool seeing him on the bench too. He's a very happy-go-lucky guy. Rarely acts serious, Joro, and he's been in this position a lot in the playoffs. I think he's been in the playoffs. I don't know how many years in a row. He went deep with Vegas.
Yep.
He was with the Jets, who have always had good teams in the playoffs. Now he's with Florida. It was funny seeing him on the bench, Jordo. He was just so serious, dead-eyed, looked like he was a little bit pissed off right after he'd scored his goal. And I'm like, God, he's fucking locked in. This guy wants it bad.
Yeah, it's and he's coming off a year where obviously leaving Winnipeg, signing a 1-year deal in Florida and trying to contribute to that team. But I just think 3 goals in 2 games for Schmidt is unbelievable. Tampa might be in one, man. Tampa, like
it's high. It's like I don't get too scared of these 2-0 leads, Jordo, because it's hockey, and especially if your team like Tampa with the roster you have,
yep,
you could easily win 2 games in a row. 3-0 gets a little scary. Like Ottawa, sorry, you're probably done. Well done, Leafs. But I think Tampa could easily come back in this series. It's just tough, they just lost 2 games at home. Yep. Now you got to go play against Florida at their home barn. It's you got you don't have last change anymore. You can't line match. It's going to be a tough road for them, but I didn't realize this, Jordo, because I haven't paid too much attention to the Lightning this year, but their roster is fucking nasty.
Oh yeah, they added Yanni Gordon, Oliver Bjorkstrand at the deadline. I would just say the one thing that they're missing is a little bit of meat on that right side. They have Cernak. Mm-hmm. They're playing that Radish kid, and they have that Perbix from St. Cloud.
Yep.
So I maybe say they're missing a little meat on that side, but yeah, they're good enough to win. And like you said, down 2-0. They got John Cooper. They got these guys that have all won multiple Stanley Cups. Like, they're fine. I think if they go into the chin of the Everglades over there in Sunrise, Florida, and play the same game they did last night, from what I've kind of saw from the highlights, and just level it up a little bit, I think they got a real chance. But Florida, man, it's crazy because they went to back-to-back Cup finals, and these guys, like, they're out for more blood. It's fun.
I know. Like, it's crazy.
If I played one of those seasons into June, I'm like, all right, man, like, fuck. Like, are we really doing this again?
They gotta be feeling it this year a little bit.
It's such a grind. Oh my God.
Oh,
like when
especially those guys who played in the 4 Nations.
Oh yeah, maybe that's why Matty Tkachuk was just like, uncle, I need a few days off here. Like, give me a couple months. I'll be fine.
Because those guys didn't get a break. Now they're, I just look at them and you think about how the guys who are playing like 20 minutes, 25 minutes a night, even 17 minutes a night, those 17, 20 minutes are like the hardest 20 minutes of workout you could possibly do, where your body needs 2-3 days to recover. You get 1 day to recover, and then you're back doing it again, and then again, and then again, and all while your body's getting injured. It's wild to think about.
Yeah, and especially you play 6 or 7 in the first round, 6 or 7 in the second round, and you get to the conference final, you're just dragging. That's why you see a lot of the times the best rounds is the first and maybe the second. But yeah, then it just becomes a point of these teams. Like the 1 year LA won it in 2012. I think it was actually 2014. They played like 28 games, man. Like, it was almost like 4 series of 7. It's like, what the fuck? That's impossible on the body. But yeah, the only other series, like Washington, Montreal, I took Montreal, but I think they're a little bit in one there. I think they're just a little young, dumb, full of cum on that one. Washington, they look better. Logan Thompson, if he keeps kicking like that, I think they're probably locked in there. Auzzo, Colorado, Dallas. Good to see Landeskog back in the lineup. That series, even without Heiskanen and Robertson, man, that, it's 2-1. Look, Colorado, they win.
Dallas, the next one here, pretty good.
Dallas for a tough regular season finish, man. They got it back on the screws here. But you knew, and I was watching that overtime game, you knew when Dallas killed that 4-minute penalty off and Colorado doesn't score to start overtime on a 4-minute double minor, Dallas is winning that game. And Tyler Seguin, a guy that missed a lot of time throughout the year, like, he gets it done. Like, that was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, it's always cool to see Seguin or Ben still contributing to the Stars. How long have they been there? It's got to be like 12 years.
Yeah, I think it has. I think it's been 12 years because Sagan was with Boston in 2011 for the Cup. And then I think he maybe played one more year after that or got dealt the following year. So, yeah, it's been 12, 13 years.
Those two guys have just been staples in Dallas the whole time, still bringing it every night.
Making $10 million tax-free. Fuck, life's good.
Yeah, and you hear good things about them too. Off the ice, the boys like him.
Well, especially Jamie Benn. Jamie Benn, like that style, no visor.
Yeah.
Sickest tape job. Throw both ways. Just sick. Like sick style with his skates too. He kind of rocks like the European, tuck it over the both sides, but somehow the shin pads sit up a little higher so you can see a little tongue.
Like him and Ryan O'Reilly kind of just strike me as the same hockey player.
Yeah.
Same guy, just legends.
For sure. Yeah, no. Yeah, we got some good series here, Auzzo. The one thing on the association I wanted to touch on just quickly was Anthony Edwards out of Minnesota getting fined 50 bands for basically telling a fan during the game at crypto.com while they were playing the Lakers that his dick is bigger than the fans. Said, my dick is bigger than yours. 50 bands for that shit? Come on, man. Like where are we at with the league? Number one, his dick is probably bigger. Number two, just let him talk shit. It's Ant. This guy... I love Anthony Edwards. He is a dog.
Yeah, his chirps too there were so good. Telling him how Rudy's got because they were chirping Rudy Gobert. And he's like, hey, he's got 400 million. This guy's got 400 million. And then he tells him his dick's bigger than his.
Yeah.
That's just all good fun. I know you got to draw a line there as Adam Silver, and you can't just let the players say whatever they want, even though the fans can say whatever the hell they want to the players, which doesn't seem fair to me, but it is what it is. You do got to draw a line, but it should be like, hey, let's have a vote on this one. Let's just ask everyone, should Anthony Edwards be fined here? No one would say yes. The fan had it coming.
Oh, 100%. And that's going to lead me into just where I'm at now. I think Anthony Edwards is my nail gun of the week. So I'm putting him up for nail gun. Auzzo, I tweeted out last night too, just on the association, my top 5 swaggiest white boys in the NBA. This list is non-European players. So it's just strictly white guys from North America. So I had Kobe of the Ozarks, number 1, Austin Reeves. I mean, that guy's a certified bucket. The way his handle is sneaky good. He can make it rain all the way from San Diego while he's in the chin of LA. So I had him number 1. Tyler Hero, for a white guy that grew up in Greenfield, Wisconsin. He sure knows about a fresh lineup. So I had Tyler Hero as my number 2 swaggiest white boy in the league. I had Grady Dick, 3. And the reason I had Grady Dick, because he's so nerdy. He's cool.
Yeah.
Like he's a mix between 40-year-old virgin, Malibu's Most Wanted, and Vanilla Ice. Like he's a redhead. He's from Kansas.
Got a little young gravy in him.
Something about him is just like, this guy fucks. So I had him number 3. Number 4, I had Dante DiVincenzo, a.k.a. Divinferta, the Italian, greasy New Jersey guy that probably was conceived where his dad was wearing a Fila jumpsuit. Like DiVincenzo is he's got that moxie to him, even though he's a little bit of a suitcase. I love his game. And then 5, I had Alex Caruso. And Caruso, yeah, he's a Texas kid. He played at College Station at A&M. But the reason I had him number 5 is because he strikes me as like the white guy, Auzzo, that changes his voice and accent depending on if he's talking to a white guy or a black guy. So like if he's talking to like a donor at A&M, he's very buttoned up. He's almost like preppy. He's got a collared shirt on. He's wearing some Dockers, some chino pants, a boat shoe. And then, if he's going to hoop with some brothers, he changes his voice. He puts on a headband. He's talking again like he's black, like he's white chocolate. So that's like one of those guys, I think, like, in saying that, he's very versatile. So I think that's what makes him swaggy, is because he can be the preppy white kid, but he can also act like he's from the ghetto when he goes into hoop. So I just had that as my 5.
That's a great list. I would say I might add Peyton Pritchard. Did you leave him off?
Yeah, I left him off. Yep.
I might add Peyton Pritchard, just watching his handles. That guy's a magician with the ball. You could go Josh Giddey, even with his pass is a little dicey.
I think he might be. Is he Australian though?
Yeah, that's true. He's not American.
Yep.
Yeah, it's funny. You think about white dudes in the NBA.
Patty Connaughton.
Yeah.
Patty Connaughton.
Joe Ingles.
Yes. Who's the kid on Denver? Braun?
Yeah, Christian Braun.
He's actually kind of nice with it.
Oh, Christian Braun's nasty.
Who's the other white guy on the Lakers?
Dalton Knecht.
Yeah, Dalton Connect. He's kind of swaggy. He's got to earn it a little more though.
Yeah, he's got something to prove, but he's on his way. It's funny though, Jordan. Like you talk about white dudes in the NBA, and I don't think of like Jokic and Doncic as white dudes for some reason.
No,
they're Europeans.
Yes.
Yeah. They just don't come off as a white dude. They're like that. It's just different breed.
Is Brooks Lopez black or white?
I think he's got a bunch.
He's got some tint,
mixed up.
like a little Mexican, little tint.
Yeah.
Kevin Love earned my respect this year when he was throwing out those Jimmy Butler clips. Like, remember when Jimmy Butler wasn't showing up to games or practices and then they suspended him? And K Love was on the Heat at the time, and he's throwing out clips from training day when Alonzo at the end of the movie goes back into the hood and everyone betrays him. He's like, "You think you can do this to me? You think you can do this to me?" Like,
K-Love's got great social media game.
Dude, like that is insane. Let's think about a teammate of yours is throwing that out. That's the NBA. That's why it's the best league in the world.
Yeah.
Did you have a nail gun, Auzzo?
Mine was Gabe Landeskog. His return, to the the Pepsi Center.
Yep.
God, was that electric? They gave him the start too. When they announced his name. Oh my God, was that sick?
Yeah, that was nasty.
It's going to take him a little while to get back up to full speed, but that guy's a nail gun for getting through what he has and getting back out there on the ice in the playoffs, wearing this, the captain's back for the Avs. That was just such a nail gun moment. I had chills up my spine when I was watching that.
Yeah, 1,000 games off, almost 3 years. Just insane to think about what his chin has been through. And I thought it was pretty cool just with his young kids on the glass. They had never really seen their dad play, or probably to their core memories. And now they finally get to see him through the other side of the wall. And yeah, hopefully he can stay in, he can keep feeling better and work through it. But just an amazing moment to see him, Auzzo. So that's a great call, fella. And this week's People's Insider term of the week is cheddar is always better. Swiss, Jack, cheddar, which one's better? Folks, cheddar is always better. And what I mean by that, and you're playing hockey, you grow up playing, you never dreamed of scoring a goal along the ice. You never dreamed of shooting one low blocker. No, the dream was always to go cheddar. Like, chicks don't want guys that just shoot low glove. Nobody cares about a goal that's tipped in. No, the reason why you love to score, the reason that got people out of their seat was, oh my God, that was dry aged sharp cheddar. Did you see that sniz? Holy, because cheddar is always better. You're coming down on that goalie. You're looking, oh, can I slide that thing bar Mexico right over his ear, right under the bar? That was the sexiest shot in hockey, and it still is. You never thought coming down, oh, yeah, I can beat this guy low glove. Yeah, sure. Anyone can shoot low glove and score. Anyone can go 5-hole and open up the garage door and slide it in. But why did you really play hockey? Why did you really love to score goals? It was to shoot it cheddar, short side cheddar, far cheddar. When you order a burger, cheddar is always better. So, folks, this week's People's Insider term of the week is a tale as old as time. Cheddar is always better. Folks, that is going to do it for Live in 5 this week, episode number 84. Jay Swish, Auzzo, bringing you some National Hockey League coverage this week, folks. Next week, we will be back with a guest. We will be back with different things. So stay with us. Have a great weekend. 93.1 Jay Swish and Auzzo, tape to tape, as always, D to D. Good luck up there in Duluth, Auzzo. Say hi to the boys for me. Have a couple pops, and we will reconvene on the other side. Hope you enjoyed this one, folks.
Everybody want clap.
I'm gonna play when I wanna play, do what I wanna do.